wonderful, Ouida. Thank you very much. We are here today, Ruth Rockwell and I, Flo Schneider, are here today talking with Ouida Berglin on her 90th birthday. And happy birthday, Ouida. We're very happy to be here, and thank you for letting us come.
Thank you.
We want you to talk about anything that interests you, and I would like to start at when you arrived in Fairhope. Can you tell us what year you came to Fairhope?
I came to Fairhope to teach school in 1926 and got married here in 1927.
Now you were Ouida
Swanson.
Okay. And you got married in 1927?
In Monroeville.
Okay. And who did you marry?
I married in Monroeville, but I met Lavigne here.
Who did you marry?
Huh?
Who did you marry?
Who did I marry?
Uh-huh.
Lavigne Berglin.
Okay, very good. Why did you want to come to Fairhope?
Well, I went to school at the Daphne State Normal School and played basketball on the team up there, the girls' team. And we played Fairhope every Saturday night. And after the ball game, the boys played a game. And then they had an orchestra out of Mobile. Every Saturday night we had ball games, boys and girls played first, and then the boys. Then they always had an orchestra out of Mobile or New Orleans, and a big dance. And I thought that was great. And I loved to dance. And I had met a lot of people to dance with by that time. The Funk Boys and the Berglin Boys and all of them, you know. And I had a great time. I've always loved Fairhope.
So that's how you
and
met?
That's where I wanted to live. And that's where I've always lived.
And that's where you met Lavigne?
I told
Oh, no, you told me another cute story about how you met Lavigne.
Oh,
when you were teaching school, there was Evelyn.
I was teaching school, and Evelyn was in my class.
And she was
yeah,
about 9 years old.
And she said, "I want you to meet my brother." And she kept saying that, and I didn't know him from Adam's house yet. I knew Marvin, because Marvin, you know, he went with my roommate, this Olson Lyde from Selma. I knew Marvin, but I didn't know Lavigne. But once I met Lavigne, I never got a chance to meet anybody else. He had me dated up a week ahead all the time. And we were married in 1927 at my mother's home in Monroe.
Uh-huh. And he brought you back to Fairhope to live?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know where we lived up on the main street coming into town?
That's right. Tell us about that house.
Well, we had rented a house, but we wasn't in there very long before this man wanted to sell that house. And it wasn't quite finished. So we added on another bedroom on a wing and a bathroom and a private entrance for the boys.
Now this house was on the corner of Oak Street and Section Street, right?
Yeah.
On the southwest corner.
Opposite the cemetery.
Right across from the cemetery. I remember that house well. And
then we planted some shrubbery. We planted a Christmas tree out in the corner of the yard. And at that time, Fairhope was not decorating outside. And we started, the first Christmas tree outside was that tree. And it was about a 8 or 10 foot tree. And it grew to be taller than this house.
Mm-hmm.
And every year we had to buy more lights.
I remember it well.
And when we ended up decorating the tree and moved to Daddles, we had over 500 lights on the tree.
Wow.
Because every year we had to add some more. And then other people started decorating smaller trees. And now everybody's doing it, just about it.
That's right.
But
I remember that.
Lavigne kind of had a hobby wanting to do that. He started that.
Uh-huh.
I give him credit because he did the decorating. That tree was what you call a sticky for a tree, you know, and it grew just perfect. The picture's in there.
It was a beautiful tree. We'll get to the picture
Just
in a little
perfect. Anyway, it'll take 2 or 3 men to decorate it at the end. Have to go up on step ladders and wear gloves and a raincoat because it was sticky.
while. Oh.
And they had to do it right, you know, put the star in the top, you know.
Yeah.
They had to go up on big ladders to do that. It got to be taller, a lot taller than this room.
That's right. I was enchanted when I was a child. I remember seeing that tree, and it was the only
Everybody
one.
that came up the hill slowed down to look at the tree, and we sat out on the porch and got a big kick out of that.
Yeah.
We really missed it when you moved.
Yeah, we
We
did.
really missed it when you moved.
I hate to see it cut down.
Yes.
Well, while we're talking about your personal life, why don't you go ahead and tell us about the creamery and how it was down on the bay?
When I came here, the creamery was down at the beach, opposite the casino.
Let me interrupt you just a minute. The creamery was owned by the Berglin family, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the year I came here, Mr. Berglin, this is what I heard. The farmers got together and built what they called a cooperative creamery. You remember that?
Yes.
And then they wanted to sell it, and Mr. Berglin bought it the year I came here to teach, 1926. And I remember going up there the afternoon that he bought it. He always had a big smile, standing out not saying anything, but smiling from ear to ear. And after I married, I did the chemistry work in the creamery.
What did that consist of?
That consisted of when the farmers brought the milk in, she knows all about it
Yes.
because we traded with the Rockwell.
Yeah. And my parents
Anyway,
too.
they at the back door, they weighed the milk, stirred it up, and took a sample in a glass bottle that had all the numbers on it, and you had to take a little tube thing and measure. If you missed it by a fraction, you would either cheat yourself or cheat the customer, so you had to do it very carefully.
Did you check it for butterfat content? Okay.
Then you put it in a machine. The bottles fit in little grooves all the way around a circle, and the machine was about that high and sat on a table. And you turned on the electricity, and it swirled and went around, and the cream rose to the top. And then you measured the cream,
Mm-hmm.
and you wrote that down in the book because that's the way they were paid. And I did that.
Uh-huh.
And then on Sunday afternoon, I had to stay up with the young girls dipping ice cream because Mobile people came in droves, cars blowing all the way past Pittman's store. And we had all these young girls like Hazel Skinner and them dipping ice cream and running up the street with ice cream. And I was up there to kind of keep order because at first I wasn't up there. And the girls were inviting all the kids in town, come on over, the Berglins are not there and we'll treat you. And they were giving away our ice cream by the gallons. you
Oh,
know.
my.
So they put me up there kind of like a policeman.
So you were the ice cream cop
On Sunday.
on Sunday, okay?
And the tester of the other days.
Uh-huh.
And then I went back to teaching school because Mr. Lipscomb came and asked me if I would teach the mentally retarded children. They only had 9, and they were brought in cars from Foley, and two of those kids came from Bay Minette. And there was ladies that would stay all day, maybe walking uptown, looking in the stores or whatever, and eating at the cafeteria. And school was out, they went back home. And that was the first mentally retarded class in the county. And
That had to be in the mid-40s.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I was not trained to do that. I just had to learn how to do it. Because it is a very important secret to how to do it. But you learn that from doing it. They're very sensitive. You have to be very careful what you say. They'll cry. They don't feel secure. And you have to learn all of that. And then you have to bribe a little bit. I tell them if, when we walked uptown, go 2 and 2, and I'd walk behind them. And we'd go to the organic school and watch them dance, and all over down to the beach and go out on the pier. And they love to do that because every day, if they behaved, I took them to the creamery and gave them ice cream cone.
That was a good incentive.
Yeah, that was an incentive to behave. If they didn't behave, we didn't go.
And you have the activities that you had the kids do.
Then I was at home, and Paul Strickland bought Rosemont Nursing Home. And I worked for him 10 and a half years as activity director.
Uh-huh.
I put on all the, we had ceramics, we had people coming in to sing, different clubs would come have, one would have like Thursday, another one Wednesday, another one. And on Saturday, we didn't have anything. But Sunday afternoon, I had, after the preachers would preach at 11 o'clock, about 3 o'clock, I could get them to come to Rosemont. And we'd invite the choirs to sing. And we always had refreshments. Paul let me go out and buy a beautiful tablecloth, lace tablecloth. I had a lady make it. I had bought the material and the lady made it. I always had flowers and candles and refreshments. Every time anybody came, we always served punch and cookies or punch and cake or whatever. Peanuts and nuts. That was it. But for 10 and a half years, if he hadn't sold it, I would have worked longer. But after 10 and a half years, he sold it. And I didn't want to start him with a new company. Because by that time, I was getting up in age, you know.
Yeah. Tell me.
I could have still done it because I could do it now.
Sure you could.
Yeah.
I want to, if you don't mind, I'd like to go back to your students because you were, you gave those students a whole lot. I remember when you started that program and how impressed I was with the activities that you did for the children or had them do. And tell us about,
making ceramics.
You had them ceramics?
And different people would come in to help me.
And singing.
Oh,
you had
yeah,
them sing.
Especially the Fairhope song and the song Alabama. You couldn't give them more than they could, you know,
right.
digest.
Right. And you said something about that I thought was really important because I think it's important for everybody, and that is that they like to be complimented on what they did properly.
Oh yeah, and if they drew a nice picture, that got on the wall.
Uh-huh.
If they do a sloppy picture, that went in the garbage can.
Did Mrs. Johnson's theories impress you at all?
Yeah, I took them up to see them folk dance and all of that because, you know, I was hipped on that folk dance and I loved it myself. And we tried it, and we had a record player, and we tried at school, you know. We didn't do it like they did it, but
you had
they
fun.
thought they were doing it great, you know.
Yeah.
See, I had one girl from Foley. Her name was Bonnie Shoemaker. And Bonnie was about in her teens. And she loved to sing, and she'd cross her hands like this and try to act professional. And I thought that was cute. If they did anything special, I put it up where everybody could see it.
And you told me
Brag on
that at one time you had Bonnie sing in the courthouse. What was the story about her singing?
Well, we got invited to go from place to place because the other schools did not know how to do it. And I spoke at the courthouse in Monroeville.
To a public meeting?
Yes, Baymanette. If people wanted to start a class and didn't know how we did ours, I told them how we did.
So you were instrumental in getting this program started all over Baldwin County.
Yeah.
And other places if you went to Monroeville.
Oh yeah, and they'd always have, mostly, like Babylette and Monroeville, they had the meeting at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Because they wanted the public to understand and the parents of these little afflicted children. And so they had to have it in a place where they had a lot of seats. And, gosh, I don't know, I never had any experience, I just did it.
That's great.
That's the way we had to do then, wasn't it?
That's right. And you said you had Bonnie sing at one of those meetings,
Yeah.
and that she was just
Oh, she-
thrilled to be able to do that.
But she wasn't the worst, you know, she was touched, a slow learner. But she could memorize and
Yeah.
sing and everything, I mean, but she couldn't keep up with the regular class in the regular school. So they sent her to Fairhope. And I featured her because she had a little more on the ball mentally than some.
Okay, and you talked to me a lot about Mrs. Johnson and her theories and what a wonderful woman you thought she was.
In my mind, and I'm telling the honest truth, I learned more from Miss Johnson than I did anybody else that I ever went to school. I didn't go to school to her, but I was associated with what she did. She says she did not believe in examinations. She said, I know you've heard it 1,000 times, Ruth.
Go ahead.
The mind, the spirit, and the body. She believed in exercise, do the best you can, don't have any report cards.
We'll stop right there and let you
pass
answer.
according to your age.
Okay, we'll stop right there and let you answer the phone. Okay, we're back on Ouida. I forgot what we were talking
We were
about.
talking about the mentally retarded classes.
Okay. Oh, and you were telling me about Mrs. Johnson.
Oh, I admired Miss Johnson because I believed in what she said after I heard her talk and associate with her. Esther Fredericks was a friend of mine, and I saw him quite a bit. That woman had something that most people do not have and never have known about. If you and I, we don't have the same mentality. None of us do. And she realized that in an early age in teaching school, public school. She said that. And she started the organic school that everybody is born free, but they're not born with all the same talents. And you gotta educate the mind, the spirit, and the body. When you educate the mind, you train them to do the best they can. Have no report cards to expose it. And then this exercise and this folk dance and all this stuff was the fun thing. And I enjoyed every bit of it.
You talked
She
about.
was just right up my alley, huh?
You also talked about her eyes. I was impressed
Oh,
by
when
your
she
comment.
looked at you, she had these dreamy brown eyes. And she didn't have to speak. All she had to do was look. Wasn't that true?
Yeah.
If she
She
looked,
just
you
had
got-
a
if
real-
she looked at you, you got the message
Mm-hmm.
that she was with you. You could just feel it. Oh, I think she was great.
She's a very intense person.
Oh yeah, I really wish I could have been under her. I was too old, but I did take all the classes up there that I could. And Esther Fredericks came next to no one, but Esther didn't have the personality. You want me? Too many people that you're completely sold on. It's a very seldom occasion. But I just adored Miss Johnson because she had the theory that would have helped a many a person if they could have been under her. Because any class you have in a public school, you got some brilliant, about 3 or 4. You got quite a few that are average, and you got some that have to really work hard. But this folk dancing and all those plays and everything, put them in there, maybe they could do that better than the other person.
That's right.
And so she had something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that because I'm one of 11 kids.
Oh, wow.
I'm number 7 in the bunch. My father had a big plantation, and at those days and ages, women did not have protection from having children like we do now. And they just had them with big families. And some could play the piano, some could play the violin, others could dance, buck dance, the boys. One brother ought to have been on the stage. And everybody had a different talent, and I saw that right in my own family. My oldest sister finished Monroeville, and she was smart as she could be, but she was timid. And she worked day and night to play the piano, all this classical stuff. But when company came and they asked her to play, she'd get stage fright. I had another sister that learned the notes and nothing else and could play any jazz, just rag it up and play for anybody and play for everybody to dance, but she didn't know all the details about music. She could just...
Well, that's where you get your talent to play the ukulele. You're from a musical family.
My mother was a high-class musician, and my grandmother was too.
Oh, wonderful.
My grandmother was a school teacher, and she loved to teach Sunday school and catechism. And after her husband died, she lived with my mother. And buddy, I mean, if you swept the porch, you better do a good job, because if you didn't, you're going to do it over.
Oh, my. Well, that's very interesting. I want to ask you one more thing that you mentioned to me earlier when we talked on the phone. You mentioned the boats on the bay.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yes.
How it was back then and all?
When I first came to Fairhope, and before I came to Fairhope, when we were in Daphne, Daphne had a boat called the Daphne. It was called Daphne.
Mm-hmm.
And Captain Joe Pose, that lived down on Reno Road, he was the captain, and we'd meet the boat every day. Captain Joe would shop, go to Cressy's and get us for home economics at the school. They didn't have any store in Daphne that you could go get lace and hooks and buttons and all. Captain Joe was shop for us. Then he'd let us ride from where they landed the boat at the big pier over to where, down below where they docked it overnight at a small pier, and nobody was supposed to go down there and bother the boat. And what else was I going to say about
Well, you talked about, that's the Daphne boat,
Yeah.
and then Fairhope had a
But
boat,
the
or a couple
Daphne
of boats.
boat was not like the Bay Queen. Fairhope had the Bay Queen and the Apollo, and what was some of the other boats?
Eastern Shore.
Eastern Shore. Now, Mr. Berglin bought the Apollo, the old man, and he took it to New Orleans after Fairhope got through with it. And Lavigne went down there, and they ran it between New Orleans and across the lake there. Some other place on the other side. It was a pleasure boat. Just at certain hours they went over there, and then at certain hours they came back. And Lavigne went down there and operated the boat for his daddy. And then they sold it down there after a few years. And Fairhope got rid of their boats. Everything boat-wise just left here. Oh, they were beautiful, wasn't they?
That's about the time they opened up the Causeway,
Yeah.
right?
You know the day they opened up the Causeway?
Oh, yeah.
The day I got married.
And that, oh, that's right. Now tell me what day
June
that,
the 15th, 1927.
and did you go?
Yeah.
Go all the way across the bay?
Well, at that time, we didn't go all the way across. The crowd stood up at the head of the,
I see.
you know. And then the people that actually were traveling went across, but the look on us, we just stayed up on the bluff and looked.
I believe you told me there was a charge to go across
Oh, $1 for the car, 10 cents for every person in the car except the driver. And then we went like that for a long time, and nobody went to Mobile shop very much because nobody didn't have much money. And paying the car thing and the gas and everything made a trip cost $10. So pretty soon they made it a one-way. You paid one way, but you could go and come but one way. And everybody shopped on Thursday because that was the day set that you got one-way fare.
So in other words, it was half fare.
Half fare.
And that was when they started closing everything up in Fairhope on Thursday, wasn't it? Thursday afternoon was closed.
And what we did at Daphne and Fairhope for entertainment, we go down and watch the boat come in and see all the people that got off of the boat. And it was just something to do. And then that old casino was there. You stop and dance a little bit. They had a jukebox downstairs, and every Saturday night they had a wonderful orchestra out of New Orleans or Mobile or somewhere. And we never missed because we liked it. And that music was great. And then the Berglins had the ice plant, and the ice cream stand was in front. And then that year, Mr. Berglin bought the People's the People's Creamery uptown. And he moved uptown. But the ice plant was still down there for a few more years.
Did you tell me that people used to dress up and go down and meet the boats?
Oh yeah, that was the entertainment. That was just what you could do every day if you wanted to. And you could stop by the casino and have a sandwich or a cold drink and dance by the jukebox.
That really kept the community together, didn't it?
Yeah. And we went down there every night after supper and walked out on the pier. Went in the casino, might have an ice cream cone or whatever. See everybody, you know.
Do you remember when Charles Darwin spoke in Cummings Hall?
Yes.
Did you go? Did you hear him?
Yeah, I always went to everything.
Okay.
I still do.
Good.
Because I learn something every time I go.
They had an auditorium up over the cooperative store too, and that was where they had some of the lectures and forums, wasn't that? Did they still have the forums?
The co-op store? Yeah, I don't remember taking much part in that.
But they had an auditorium up in the second story there. And with a wide stairway that went up, and that's where they had a lot of lectures and things like that.
Fairhope wasn't like it is now, but it was fun, wasn't it? It was great. Of course, I'm older than you are, and you probably don't remember some of the little stuff I remember.
Well, I started remembering things by the time you came to Fairhope.
But one thing, let me tell you what. I had the 4th grade, and I had Cecil Pittman. His daddy was on the school board. Well, Cecil was kind of a cut up, and they didn't like his grades. So one day I see Mr. Pittman coming. I sent Cecil to the blackboard before he got there, so he'd be up there. I showed his daddy from experience what he could do. That stopped that.
That turned Cecil in his tracks, huh?
I saw the man coming, and I said, he's coming to say that I'm mistreating Cecil. I'm going to put him up to the board and let him see for himself.
Very good strategy.
Yeah, I did. I taught him. Marvin married Mildred Council the last time, and I taught Mildred in the 4th grade. I taught Evelyn in the 4th grade, Cecil. And you want to know, is this going to be public, this talk?
Right.
I better be careful.
Well, let's turn it off a minute and we'll see if it's fit for public acceptance. Hold on. Start with Miss
The
Self.
principal of the grammar school was a Mrs. Self, an elderly woman, taught 1st grade. She told us coming back in the car with the principal. We were on the back seat. She said to Miss Lyde and me, she said, Ouida and Alston, I want to warn you that these women in Fairhope, they come to the school and they cause trouble and says they'll put you out quicker than you can bat your eye if you don't give their son or their daughter an A or a B or something. You're going to get put out. She says they hire them and they fire them. They'd had I don't know how many teachers that year to replace somebody. And you know, that kind of ended. I didn't have that problem. It must have stopped that year. She said the mothers just caused her so much trouble. If their kid didn't make an A, they get rid of them.
Well, that was something they fuss about now. They say parents don't
stand behind the school. The child has to do his part, and the mother has to see that he does it. The teacher cannot do it all.
That's true. That's
you know
true.
How it is. You get the lesson prepared. You make a lesson plan. You prepare it like you're supposed to. You put what you put on the board supposed to. And if they don't copy it in their notebook and go home and study it some, they're not gonna know it.
That's true.
Well, you know, long about the 4th grade, you do all that stuff. You're long about the 6th, you quit doing that. But the grammar school, you do. Oh, you did. I don't know what to do now.
Well, you've really had a very busy and a very productive life, and I know that you're still active, and I'd like to know what you're doing right now that you'd like to do, and what you plan for the future.
Well, right now, I'm just taking it easy. I do from day to day what I want to do. But in between time, I do handwork. I painted all my pictures.
Oh, wonderful.
I never had any lessons, I just paint. I embroider. That's one.
Oh, I'll have to get that one in a minute.
Embroidered.
Oh, I'll focus on that in just a minute.
Watercolor, and that's oil.
Oh, that's wonderful. Let me stop right now and take the camera and look at them. Hold on. Oop. Okay, so this is an embroidered picture, and I'm really interested in that because I want to do something like this. And I'm not very good at it, but I want to try it.
And this is the Fairhope flowers, magnolia and
Okay, got Fairhope flowers, magnolia, and
dogwood.
That's beautiful. Uh-oh, we got it. And that's the dogwood. It's very beautiful. You're very talented. Okay, the last two were watercolors, and this is oil. One is what, watercolor?
Watercolor.
Okay. Okay, and
I didn't go to school there. I went to a special place.
now I'm focusing on your jewelry that you made at the organic school.
On the Miss Hooker and Miss Bigger.
Very pretty. I really envy talented people because I'm not very. Did you teach in this old school building? No, I guess you may have. Was the old white school building
Yeah.
in this picture?
The old 2-story building. I taught downstairs.
Okay. And here's an article in the paper about you. That was the Mobile paper.
You see, I have to look. Miss Johnson.
Okay, that's Miss Johnson.
That woman had something. We didn't know how to push it. I learned a lot from her.
That was in the Courier.
You know, you're taught by your parents.
And here's about Ouida's family and the Berglin family.
She didn't believe it.
Article in the Courier.
Be natural. Yeah. Cramp somebody. Don't. That's really not bad.
Some old pictures of Fairhope
Now come here, let me show you this.
and family.
That's not my poor old dress. I married him.
Okay, here's a picture of Mrs. Berglin.
But you know,
And let me see if I can get Mr. Berglin without a
This
reflection.
is Father Reuben.
Yeah.
He went Reuben.
Yeah.
He when he was 80.
It's Lavigne
He was 100.
Berglin.
He just died this past.
Ouida as a baby, or a little tiny girl. Son when he was in the Navy, and I guess that was World War II. Robert at when he was attending Swanee Military School or college.
This says quiet day.
Excuse me. These are the poems you have written, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spend the day in quietness. Give God a chance to speak. Spend time with Him alone, a friend indeed to me. Listen to Him in solitude. Give thoughts to looking back. Speak with Him in prayer, in love, in song and praise. Feel His presence in silence. Look up with thine eyes, as unto the hills from whence cometh our help. When we close our mouths, our eyes open wide, ears are more acute. Then only we see and hear the eternal truth. I just want to.
That's great.
Beautiful.
This is Mobile Bay. Oh, the sparkling, rippling waters on beautiful Mobile Bay, splashing against the seashore, wearing the time away. Now for a catch of gleaming moments that pass as with the day, while the world rushes on in a mysterious kind of way. The bay holds dear to me its depths of beauty in repose, the sounds of splashing water. Where it comes from, no one knows. Beauty is part of it, in calmness and in storm. The changes that take place as tomorrow rushes on. Think and communicate with Thee who made land and sea, and realize that time waits for no man, not for you and not for me.
Very nice.
I just write all that kind of stuff.
How about telling us about this book?
Oh.
Tell us the title of it.
Lavigne was a third interested in the creamery. The boys went in partners with the daddy. And Mr. Berglin died. And I figured one day, I told Lavigne we got to get our affairs legally fixed, because it's not like when your daddy living. It's a different ball game now. So we had Mr. Vivian Johnson, a good lawyer from Mobile, to come over to the house, and he made our will. And he fixed all the legal papers. When Lavigne died, I didn't have to do a thing. I had everything. It cost $50 to have him come, and a lawsuit would have cost hundreds. And this is the contents. The purpose, the preface, what every woman should know before it's too late. Have your wills, your property, and the tax bite, federal gift tax, life insurance, joint ownership, business interests, legal points, administration of estates, assets, and liberations.
And would you hold that up so that we could see the front of the book? Okay. What every woman should know before what every woman should know before it's too late, by Ouida Berglin, right? Ouida Swanson Berglin. Okay.
See here, it says the purpose of doing it, and the preface, and then it says, this woman should know before it's too late. In the early days, around the turn of the century, it was thought that a woman's place was in the home, and it was unladylike to discuss business and legal affairs. Those were the days when men left a will, and the administration cost was nominal. A person's word was as good as law, and a dollar was a dollar. It was a sweet and wonderful world, half fantasy and half reality. The atmosphere was sunny, and only now and then was there any room for a storm. The families lived more quietly and radiated love for their fellow man. The welcome mat was out, and people placed lots of trust in one another. Now time has changed many things. We find that the women must be on their toes in business as well as in the home. To bridge this gap, you must be concerned about your business affairs, or you will fall in the turbulent sea. Your life savings will be devoured by the intellectual sharks who are just waiting for you.
Could I interrupt you and ask you what year you wrote that?
I wrote this about 10 years ago.
Okay, thanks.
Still true today.
That's true, yeah.
The first step is to go to the best tax lawyer available and discuss your problems. In turn, he will advise you of what to do. The statistics show that men die younger than women. Therefore, there are thousands of widows in the world. They usually are not ready to execute their business, and the experience is devastating. I remember my own experience in the 50s when it was evident that I would be a widow in a short time. He had kidney stones faster than they could cut them out at Ocean Clinic.
Good gracious.
I had no idea about our business and the settling of an estate, and we were partners. I was not worried because I did not know the problems that I was facing. My husband was a hard-working man and took care of the business. I took care of the house and family. My husband went through a reputable clinic for a health checkup and was told of the seriousness of a kidney condition that he had. We accepted the diagnosis and went along with many operations and treatments from the best doctors in the South over a period of 10 years. That was Ocean Clinic. The routine continued, and still I did not become alarmed because about the business. Was in the dark and did not realize it. Finally, I decided to see a reputable tax lawyer in a neighboring city to discuss my business status. My husband and I gave this serious thought, as he wanted me to be familiar with his business. We made an appointment with the lawyer and sat for hours discussing wills, corporations, real estate, trust funds, administrators, and other subjects that fit our needs. As you know, each family has its own problems, but basically all of us have many of the same problems. It hurts and disturbs me to see women so unaware of the pitfalls that await them when they have been negligent. Life is cruel sometimes, and death is final. There are people trained to help you plan your estate to your advantage if you are interested in finding out. This statement reminds me of a person who takes for granted that water and air are there if you need it. Therefore, however, the difference is this: we seek help after we have drowned in our own carelessness. Then it is too late. I am urging all women, young and old, to familiarize themselves with every single angle of their affairs before it is too late.
There's a picture of Ouida in her book of poetry when she wrote it back years ago.
I don't let it happen to me.
So, if Junior asked you what?
Let's ride down to the Gulf. You got a good officer. Put down there and dance.
And you go.
I'll go.
Wonderful. Ouida.
Let me tell you what's funny. This is the truth, I'm telling you. The trombone player came down to intermission and sat with us. And somebody in the crowd called me my nickname, because you know my name's Ouida, but my family called me Honey. So he goes back up on the stage, and he's a piano player, and he gets up and sings at one of the big nightclubs. Shirley and Wayne and Shirley. And he dedicates a song to Honey. Then he comes down there and asks me to dance. And then we went to another place down there. It was a two-story place. You go upstairs to the music, and they had a restaurant. You eat and you dance. And there was a middle-aged man that played the piano. And at intermission, he came down and he gave me a big kiss right on that bone.
Well, Ouida, I want to thank you very much for letting us do this today on your birthday. And I want to say, you mentioned that you admired Mrs. Johnson's theory of being unself-conscious and helping children become unself-conscious. And I
Do
have.
the best that you can.
That's right.
Because
I
all
think
people do not have the same mentality.
That's right. I think that what you have shown today that you are not self-conscious, and that has been a part of your success in life.
I just do the best I can, and that's all you can do.
Well, we certainly admire that and appreciate it. Thank you.